Hi, I'm Maria Otto with Little Pastry Shop, and this is Hey Bay City.
We get peppy music. So I typically what I do in these interviews is we go through your backstory, things like that. But honestly, I just kind of want to jump to these gorgeous pastries in front of me. Can you describe to me what you have brought to the studio this morning, Maria Otto?
Yes, and so I brought you 6 of my punchki. I thought you'd enjoy those.
How many calories do you think is in this one box?
That's not important. I'd call it a soul food. It's good for the soul.
Yes, that is true. So do you do like all the flavors of punchkis? Do you have a specific approach to punchki?
Mine are just the traditional orange rind, and we also put raisins in them. I chose to not put raisins in these because most people order without.
They're divisive, the raisins.
Exactly. Some people say, "Oh no." Yes.
Wow, those are gorgeous. What else we got here?
I made you a pan of cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, you made a bunch
still
of those
steaming.
for St. Patrick's Day. Isn't
Yes,
that right? How many
yes.
did you make for that?
Oh, I did not count. Hundreds, and we sold out. It was amazing.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Thank you.
Ooh, okay, we got 2 more things.
Yes, a little cherry pie.
Oh.
And that is my favorite pie to make, the little version and the cherries.
You were explaining to me before we started recording that you make them little for a reason.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So even though I grew up in a large family, I have a small family. It's me, my husband, and my daughter. And so to eat a whole pie for us, I don't like food that's been sitting for a couple days, right? So you get a pie, it's large, you each have a piece, and you're done. The little pies are the perfect size for us, and they're also perfect for individuals who might want a pie, but they almost feel like it's a waste to get a big pie.
Yeah.
And then also what we do is I will make a cherry pie, an apple pie, and a blueberry pie. And we get done with dinner, and we are big dessert people. We always save room for dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And we will slice, Clara, that's my daughter. Clara, what kind of pie you want? Oh, I want a slice of cherry. All right, great. Hey, Jeff, what do you want? Oh, give me the blueberry. Okay, I'll have the apple, and then we'll switch. Now you get a slice of the apple. You get a slice of blueberry. I'll take a slice of cherry.
Oh, I like
And
that idea
it's
a lot.
fun. It's a lot of fun.
Because I don't know if everybody else is the same way, but you get a pie, and this might be blasphemy that you don't eat the pie all in one sitting, but you get a pie, and then you eat a piece of pie, and then the next day it's there, and then by day 3 it's kind of a sloppy mess in your refrigerator. But here you get all the different kinds of pie, and you can eat 3 pieces of pie, and you can finish a pie, and you don't. It's a beautiful idea,
right? Why buy one big pie of the same flavor when you can get 3, and they're just nice and small?
Do you have? You mentioned that this pie is your favorite pie to make. Do you have another kind of signature thing that you do?
The scones.
The scones?
Yes.
Oh, tell me about these scones.
Those are the reason that I opened my little pastry shop. Yes.
All because of scones?
Yes.
Tell
all
me that
scones.
story.
So I was originally going to just start with the scones. So I started making them, and I love them. The first one I ever made was tart cherry almond. Tasted like something I had never had before. Loved it. And made them for my family. They loved them. Took them up on a family vacation. And one of my brothers said, Maria, holy crap. What is this? And I remember he's like, what is this? You need to sell these. And I was like, wait, are you for real? And he's like, oh, yeah. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess I could. They're different. And a couple years later, then I finally said, I'm going to sell those, and people are going to love them. And I had taken some time to develop different flavors. So I try to have, a few different.
Yeah, I love also the size of these scones. Typically, you go into a coffee shop or something like that, and I'm holding it up for the camera.
Yeah.
Typically, go into a coffee shop, and they got these big old scones. But in true little pastry shop form, they're these little guys.
Yes.
And I love that.
They're just, instead of being big and dry,
Yeah.
These are they melt in your mouth, and the flavors are light. They don't punch you in the face. It's more of a back end.
Yeah.
You bite into it and you're like, what is this? Oh, I like that. And so, yeah.
As somebody currently eating one of these scones, I can confirm everything that you just said. Yeah, it is. It's like one part pastry, one part baked good. There's the sweetness that you'd expect in something like a Danish, but it's still got the consistency of a scone. Oh, you could dip that in your coffee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned that you first got this encouragement to sell scones by your brother,
Yeah.
right? And then you waited a couple years to finally do it. What was the timeline of that? When did your brother first talk about your scones?
That was during COVID, actually.
Oh.
And we took a family vacation because we all were by each other anyways, rented a house all together. So I have 8 brothers and sisters, and
Wow.
I think either 26 or 27 nieces and nephews. I lost count.
Wow.
So we all rented a house together.
all of your siblings and your nieces and nephews?
Yeah. And
What
my
kind
parents.
of house was that? Like
It was
an airplane hangar?
Huge house, and we all chipped in.
That's kind of a cool COVID lockdown, though. You get
Yeah.
like 40 or 50 of your family members together, hang out.
Yeah, we all took turns making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so it was kind of cool because it was like, hey, what are you going to make? And what,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. And I brought the scones.
Huh. How is it living, like growing up in a large family like that?
Loud.
I can imagine as having 3 kids. I just can imagine the noise level of that place.
Oh, yeah. We very loud, and a lot of fun. We always had somebody to hang out with. And
Yeah.
if we didn't want to hang out, you just go to your room.
Yeah.
We had some alone time too. So
What's the age spread of that?
20 years difference from our oldest to the youngest, I believe.
Incredible.
22 years.
I can't imagine as a parent the energy level necessary to wrangle 8 children.
Yeah, it's kept my parents very young.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So you had this COVID lockdown. Everybody's gushing over your scones. Then you said a couple years later was when you first finally decided to start selling.
Mm-hmm.
What was that decision like? This final decision to say, yes, I will sell this to the public.
Yeah. Well, could I take it back?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take it back
This
to
is
the beginning.
your show. You can do whatever you want.
So it didn't just start with the scones. That was what started my final jump, right? And saying, I'm going to do this. I got a good product.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started selling pies in college to make money to pay for my books. And so that was kind of my thing. My mom and I made pies, and we sold them for $10 at the golf course that I worked at, and did that to raise money to pay for my college books. And so that got me going. And when I did go to college, my mom bought me my mixing bowl, just randomly, bought me mixing bowls, cookie sheets, whisks, measuring cups, and a pastry cutter. And she said, have fun in college. You're all ready. You got everything you need. And I still use that same pastry cutter today.
Awesome.
So that was cool. I went to Grand Valley for my undergrad.
What did you go to Grand Valley for?
I went for marketing because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I actually almost didn't go to college. I got done with high school. I was told I was not college material.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's the quickest way to get a kid to not go to college, right?
Yeah, maybe you should think of something else.
Yeah. And then, so one of my friends convinced me to go to Delta, and it truly just changed my life. I went to Delta for 2 years, increased my confidence, got good grades for once, and then transferred to Grand Valley. And while I was there, I majored in marketing, but I joined the CEO, was the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. And it was a bunch of kids my age that all had dreams of owning businesses one day, real estate, a vanilla bean company, all of these things. And mine was, I'm going to open a bakery one day that sells seasonal pies. And that was my plan.
Really?
And we did idea pitch competitions, and I was all in. I said, I'm going to school for the marketing. I'm taking entrepreneurship classes. I'm going to open this bakery. And boom, all in.
What year was that?
2006.
Okay.
7.
Okay. So 2006, 2007, you're in this entrepreneur group saying, this is going to be my thing. I'm going to sell pies.
Yes, I'm going to sell pies, and based on seasonality, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was my thing. But as you keep going, I remember sitting in a supply chain class one day, and the professor said, all of the girls in this class, just letting you know, there are not a lot of women in supply chain. And if you want a guaranteed job after college, go into supply chain. And so I did. I changed my major to do an emphasis in logistics because I said, Maria, you got to make money. You need a job. And I ended up getting hired full-time before I graduated.
I kind of smart in that. A lot of time, I remember when I first started my business, I went through kind of this phase where I felt that I had to give everything up. I had to quit my job. I had to do do really incredibly risky things to try to make it work. But in hindsight, this idea of having a full-time job and chipping away at a business and refining it. I mean, there's so many blessings to that, especially if you have something like a family where you don't have to go to your partner or your kids and say, hey, by the way, Dad's not going to make any money for the next 3 years.
Right.
Best of luck, but I want to chase my passion. There's a lot of benefit to that, I think.
Right. Yep. And it was the right thing for me to do at the time.
Yeah. So how long were you in logistics for?
Just a few years. And I remember telling one of the owners of the company, I'm going to own a bakery one day. And he said, there's no money in that. Don't do it.
I'll show you. I'll show you, boss.
Yep. And I feel like for a long time, yeah, you're right. There's no money in that. I'm not going to do it. And I didn't, and I continued working in automotive for the next, 10 plus years. Just kind of chasing the promotion, need to get paid and stay as busy as possible and keep it going.
Yeah. Were you still baking on the side during that time?
So I've always loved to bake, and so that is one of my main hobbies. But over the past couple of years, I had gotten so busy and tired from work that I stopped.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I was into photography all through grade school, all through high school. That was my jam. And then when I started teaching out of college, like anything fun, I immediately gave up because you just don't have time for it. You don't have energy for it. By the time you get home, even if you do have a free hour, I just want to sit down and not talk to a soul.
Right. I would get home from work and be like, please don't talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get to a spot where you're given 200% to your job and 0% to your family. And that's not fair.
Yep. Yeah. Even if you do have time, even if you do get home at 5 p.m., it's still, you got to summon that energy and that emotional investment and that attention. And all your brain wants to do is say, no, man, I need a nap.
Right, exactly.
So was there some kind of catalyst that got you back into baking?
My daughter was going into the 6th grade, and she was about to go on summer break. And I don't know what happened, but I had a mind shift change, very random. And I literally just said to my husband, I said, I've never spent a summer with Clara, and we've only got like 6 left until she goes to college, and then we're going to lose her, basically. And I said, I'm really considering taking the summer off. And he said, you could do that. And literally 2 weeks later, I did. I quit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, talk me through that, because sometimes, especially if you're not an entrepreneur looking into the entrepreneur world, decisions are easy. I gotta passion and I'm going to follow it. And suddenly I'm selling 1 million cakes every
Right.
single day or pies every single day. But it doesn't necessarily work like that. I can imagine a decision like that being super
Yeah.
scary. There you are stepping off the edge of the cliff.
Right. So like you go to college and you get your degree in the degree that you're supposed to get so that you can get the job that you're supposed to get, right? And then I even went and got my MBA so that I could continue to move higher. And I was a director level and I was feeling great about it. So, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. Wonderful. And I used to go home and tell Jeff, my husband, I'm just not happy. And I don't know why. I've got a great job. We've got a nice house. I've got you. I've got Clara. Everything's going great. For some reason, I just feel weird and I don't like it. And that was a little while. And then that's when I finally had the conversation with him. I think I'm going to stop. I think I'm just going to stop. And he said, go for it. And we stewed on it for a little bit, a couple of weeks. I called a couple of my brothers, and my sisters. My family's very close. I can call them and, what do you think about this? And they said, Maria, you need to do what, is best for you and your family. And you can't keep doing something that your heart's not full in, right? And it came down to, I said, I think I'm really good at my job. And I've always put effort into doing well in my career. And it was almost a feeling of, I think I'm living somebody else's life, if that makes any sense. And I said, I kind of just want to live my own life. I'd like to instead of helping this company with their dream and making it successful, I think I'm going to put all my energy into my own. And I think I might be really successful at doing that.
Woo.
And so I just I got ready that morning that I was going to leave. And I was so nervous that I almost didn't do it. I almost threw up. And I texted my husband and I said, I can't do it. I'm too scared. I think I'm going to be sick. Not going to happen. And I was sitting in my office with the door closed by myself. And he texted me and he said, you are strong. It's the right time. And then I did it. I quit.
Shout out to your husband, Jeff.
Yeah.
Man, if you're Jeff, you should be listening to this interview, Jeff. Man, what a stellar response though. I mean, having a partner say, hey, I'm going to help you through this super intense time. Here you are in the office by yourself, ready to puke, so nervous, just thinking, I got to do it. And you need a wingman. You need somebody to say, no, you got this, girl. Put in that 2-week notice.
Right. And just like a safety net, right?
Yeah. So here you are, you've quit.
Yeah.
You put in your 2 weeks. How did you feel in that moment? Like we won't go through all the details, but you put in your 2-week notice and you go back to your office. Now what are you feeling?
I had to leave.
Oh,
Actually,
really?
I had taken a half day. I had a family member that had passed, and we had to go to the memorial.
Oh.
So, but I felt terrible, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't what you'd think that you'd be feeling when you quit my job.
Yeah,
Crack a beer and it wasn't. I was sad. I was nervous. And I said I'm going to be done now because I want to spend summer break with with Clara, and she's on summer break, and so I'm late. I got to be done, and I ended up being like physically blah.
Yeah.
You get done with this high energy job, and I thought that I would have the best, and we did have an amazing summer, but initially for the first month, I was in rough shape.
Yeah, your body kind of unravels after that kind of chronic stress. And if people listening to this, if they've ever been involved in a similar occupation or a huge project or running a business for a long time, they absolutely understand that. Your first 4 days on any kind of vacation are completely wasted because your brain is still going. And then it goes into this kind of unraveling mode where you want to be motivated, but you just can't.
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And that day, though, I'll never forget. That day I quit my job, I let my family know, and they were so proud of me. So I got the nicest response from every single member of my family.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got my pajamas on at 5, 6 o'clock because I was just, done. And I heard a knock on my back patio, and my Jeff was home. He said, "Maria, there's people here to see you." And I said, "Tell them I'm sleeping." And I look, and it's a couple of my brothers and sisters with a cooler of beer. And they just, "Maria, get out here. We brought beer." And we sat on the back patio for a few hours drinking beer and talking about life.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was awesome. And I will never forget that.
Oh, so kudos to Jeff. Kudos to the rest of your family for understanding just how intense this situation is for you. Because on the outside, it would be really easy to just kind of assume that you're happy and you got everything you want and the rest of your life is roses and you go, girl, and then peace out. But to really rally around you and say, hey, this is more complicated than simply just pursuing your passions and everything's happy.
Right.
We're going to bring some beer and we're going to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So you leave your job, you're spending summer. Did you really jump into the business part of it, or did you jump more into the baking part of it, or how did you start working out this idea of running your own business?
Yeah. So the first portion of the summer I spent with Clara. I tried to give 100% to her because not only did I think if I give 100% to my own business, I'm going to be really successful, but if I give 100% to my daughter, she will be successful. And she needs that attention and time. All the years that I had other people picking up my kid and taking her where she needed to be, or watching her, or keeping her late because a meeting went over, or, feeding her dinner, all the restaurants. And, I said, she's already 12, but I'm going to spend time with her and do whatever she wants to do. But I also did meet and have coffee with Beth Rosaticky at the Small Business Development Center.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Hey, I quit my job." And she said, "Are you kidding me?" And I said, "No, I'm not." "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I'm taking the summer off. And then I'd really like to sell my scones." And I brought them in a little Tupperware container. They probably looked like pretty pathetic, actually. She was so nice about it. "Oh, they're beautiful." And I thought to myself, "Oh,
it's still got spaghetti sauce stains on the Tupperware."
It was a legit old Tupperware container. And she directed me to the right people. Carly at the Small Business Development Center helped me get my LLC set up. And we talked about the name. What are we going to call this company? And at first it was going to be called The Little Scone Shop. And then the cinnamon rolls came into play. I can talk about that a little bit, but then we ended up, hey, if you're going to sell cinnamon rolls too, let's get something that's going to encompass everything you're selling.
Yeah, which is a smart move.
Exactly. Yeah, especially scone. There's a lot of people who don't even want to try a scone because of their reputation.
Yeah, but it'll turn you off right away if they think, well, they just sell scones.
Right.
Not my thing.
Right. So I'm talking to Beth, and she tried the scones. She said, "My God, these are actually really good." And I said, "Thank you. I know. I think they're going to be good, And I said, "I'm going to take the summer off and hang out with Clara. And then in the fall, when she goes back to school, I'm going to hit this hard." And so I did. Clara and I went to the beach constantly. We ate ice cream every single day, sometimes twice a day.
Cool.
It was wonderful. Now the cinnamon rolls have been something I've made for years, and it started with my mom. She used to make cinnamon rolls every single snow day. Didn't matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't matter if we had 2 snow days in a row or, each week snow day. She made cinnamon rolls. And they were so good, And so I had worked on cinnamon roll recipes. I've always, tried to work on things, get them to where I wanted them to be. I was up in Tawas visiting my aunt and hanging out with Clara at the beach. She was talking about my cousin's wedding shower. And she said, I love cinnamon rolls, but I can't find a good old-fashioned cinnamon roll. I don't want all the crap on it.
Yeah.
I just want a really good cinnamon roll, and I can't find one. And I said, well, why don't I make them for you? And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, I make a damn good cinnamon roll. And she said, well, if you want to, there's going to be like 100 people. And I said, well, let me go and, I will just plan on doing that. What time? She said 10 o'clock. And I thought to myself, well, crap, I got to wake up at like 6 a.m. All right. Yeah, I can do it. I've never made that many before, but I did. Well, I did. I woke up, and even my mom was nervous. She said, Maria, this is going to look bad. You are just sitting here at the beach saying you're going to make these cinnamon rolls.
Uh-huh.
Don't mess it up, please.
Yeah.
So I made them. Everybody loved them. And I got this weird adrenaline rush, like, whoa, those were good. I actually did it. I think I'm going to sell those too. And then that's when we said, all right, we got to think of a name, that's going to encompass all of the
There's
stuff.
nothing like the rush of making something, giving it to somebody, and having them approve of it.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like a very simple thing, but especially when it's something that you have made over. You've spent a lot of time invested in trying to make it good and tweaking it and doing it over again and making it consistent from batch to batch, and then you give it to somebody and you get that reaction. There's just nothing on this planet that can meet that kind of rush.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I want to give the SBDC a shout out here,
Yes.
because when you make the transition, or you have the idea even of starting your own business, the thing that is going to smack you in the face right away is, I have no help. I have no mentor. Nobody's telling me anything. I have no idea what to do and what steps to take and all of these things. My people, if I had a chance to go back from the first day I thought about starting my business, the second call I would have made would have been to the SBDC, because I discovered them like 5 years in. And they were like, yeah, we do all of this stuff for free. We can help you with every single thing that you could possibly want to know about being a business. We'll have consultants come in and walk you through all this process. Like, oh my goodness,
Yes.
people, they're just amazing.
Yeah. If you are going to start a business, you need to go to the SBDC.
Yeah.
And they, right now I'm working with Michelle. It is amazing to be able to call somebody.
Yes.
And have them available, we have a good relationship now where, hey, I just need you to listen. Like, can you just listen and tell me if I'm stupid?
Yep.
And it's wonderful because you don't want all of your ideas to get out to people, right?
Right.
Right away. But you've got this confidentiality with this person, and they're giving honest advice because they want you to succeed.
Yep.
And like Carly helped me set up the LLC, and it was a step-by-step, easy peasy, way to do it. Amazing. I can't even believe that it was available.
Yeah.
So.
Shout their acronyms from the mountaintops, because I mean, there's so much benefit to your business and just starting off on the right foot. So much business or benefit to you as an individual, because now you have somebody you can talk to. You don't have to post on Facebook, hey, everybody, what do you think about if I started doing this?
Right.
And then, can that work? Yes. But a lot of times what happens is people post something like that. They get a lot of encouragement from people because they're your friends and they want to encourage you. And then you spend a lot of time and money investing in some kind of pivot. And it ends up being a complete bomb because you didn't get the right advice from the right people.
Right.
When meanwhile, you have the Small Business Development Corporation out of SVSU saying, we have people that have run and sold significant amount of businesses. They will walk you through every single thing. You can call them up on the phone and say, hey, is this a dumb idea or is this a good idea for the life of your business? It just makes so much sense. People
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
Do it. So when did you first start working with the SBDC?
I believe it was in June or July. So
Okay.
a few weeks after, I said, I'm going to get this at least established. And what do I need to think about, so that I can hit the ground running in the fall?
Yeah, and it seems like you have hit the ground running, because I was running into folks, and I think we met at Dry Dock. I think you were there with Jenna Costa, maybe.
Oh, yes,
yeah, and I think you guys were standing there, or maybe I'm getting like things confused, but I just kept seeing little pastry shop, and you were cooking or baking out of your home up until recently. Is that right?
Right. So I've always done it out of my home.
Yeah.
And
What is that like, having a home-based bakery?
Oh, man.
It's got to be intense.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't even have that big of a kitchen. So our whole dining room is full of the little pastry shop stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine like Jeff coming home from work or something. It's like nothing but boxes and baked goods.
Yes. And then they wonder, where's mine? I always have to make a little extra.
That would be me too. Like as soon as things are out on the counter, it's free game.
Yes. And so we have to be careful of that.
Yeah.
But no, it is. It's nice because it is out of my home. But I think Jeff and Clara are going to be excited for me to officially not be there anymore.
I can imagine.
I wake up really early, and I like to. There's a lot of mornings where I'm just incredibly happy, and so I'll start whistling or playing music. I like to listen to Frank Sinatra when I'm baking, and I can't help but sing or whistle along. And Clara will come up on the little upstairs balcony hangover that we have, and Mom, some of us are still sleeping.
It's like 4:30 in the morning.
Yes. So it is funny, but they're excited for me to fly the nest.
Yeah, and speaking of flying the nest, where are you baking out of now?
City Market.
Ooh.
So yes. There was an opening right there off of Center Avenue, and it had everything I needed as far as hookups are concerned.
Cool.
The oven hood and
Right.
a good spot for people to just walk in. And so I'm so excited to now, instead of just doing pre-orders, I can make a bunch of stuff. And if you want it spur of the moment, and that's kind of how I am. If I'm craving something, I'm going to go get it. And so that'll be available now.
Awesome. Yeah. So give me a little bit, as long as we're talking about like how to actually get your baked goods, kind of walk me through that 101. How do I go about getting scones and pies and things from you?
So you can pre-order still. You can message me on Facebook or order directly from the website. And so it'll give you a pickup time to choose from. And then, or you can walk in the store and get individual cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
So,
What are the hours of the store?
Thursday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I might do Wednesdays as well. But to start, Thursday through Saturday.
Okay. Thursday through Saturday.
7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
7 a.m. to 1 p.m. You walk to those front doors to City Market and you're right
turn to
there.
the right. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people, there are things inside a City Market.
Yes.
Now you need to go and get some cinnamon rolls and some scones and whatnot.
Right.
How has the reception been to you opening a business here in Bay County? Have you felt supported? Have you felt like encouraged?
Very,
talk to me about that.
Overwhelming response. The pop-up that I did at the St. Patrick's Day Parade was huge. So many people walking in, happy for me.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good, to be in a city that I love. We've spent so much time down here, and now to be here doing my thing is cool, and but just very warm.
It seems like, especially now, there's a burst of momentum happening between you coming into City Market, and then you've got H2Os over on Midland Street, and a bunch of other things happening on Midland Street. I mean, it seems like a very cool pocket of time to be an entrepreneur here in Bay County.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I've called Mark and asked him for advice with
have you?
H2Os. He's another person that you can call, and he's a great, ear.
Yeah, and just a great human being.
Yes.
I just love Mark.
Yeah.
And the first time I met Mark at O's was related to a story that we were doing, and I was just like, I could be friends with this guy.
Yes.
He's just so nice.
He's so nice, yes, and he's good,
And you see that right away with this is another kind of thing related to if you're a business owner, is that you can have a great restaurant, you can have a great product, but where the magic really happens is if you are a great person creating great relationships. The story that we did on O's just exploded. I mean, 100,000 people saw that story that week. And I made sure to tell Mark, it's because of O's and the restaurant and things like that. But people love you, man. Like they love you. They think you're a great human. You see the encouragement happening with H2O's. And I get that feeling with you too. You're relatively new business. Here you are baking out of your house, now moving into City Market, but people posting about you all the time, like, hey, check out Little Pastry Shop. Hey, check out Little Pastry Shop. Buy your punchkis over here. And that's got to be a great feeling to match this idea of I made these scones and you love them, but now people are saying, hey, go to Maria. She's awesome. Right. Go to her bakery. That's got to be cool.
It feels good to hear people say she's legit. Go to her, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Well, I can second that. You absolutely are legit. Looking forward to eating all of these baked goods the rest of this morning. I mean, it'll probably last about an hour before I polish all of these things off. So check out your Facebook page if people are listening. Little Pastry Shop, is that what it is? Yep, Little
Pastry Shop. And then I have a website, www.lpastryshop.com.
Okay, cool. So visit those, follow those pages, head to the website, order all the baked goods, stop by Wednesday through Saturday from 7 to 1 p.m. in City Market. Walk in there, grab some stuff, get a little sample. You are an absolute delight, Maria. I wish you all the best, all the future baked goods, and I'm just going to be eating all these punchkis. Thank you so much, Maria. Cool. Cut. You are awesome.